Tonight, we continue looking back at the top sports moments of 2020. In part one, we showed you stories that left a permanent stamp on Cincinnati sports history. Now, in Caleb's part two, sports anchor Caleb Noe looks at some of the most triumphant moments for local teams and others that could have been.
They're a step above everybody else.
The basketball team at Mount Notre Dame didn't lose a single game last season, 28-0. Yet they did not win a state championship. Along with many other teams in the area,
and that bus ride was silent.
The season was cut short, not because of a loss, but because of COVID-19. Not to mention spring sports were canceled entirely.
What was tough about this year was the lack of closure.
But as the leaves began to turn, so too did the fate of high school sports. The fall season happened, and did it ever.
Touchdown with 27 seconds left.
One of the best high school football games in recent memory.
It was a shame either team had to lose tonight.
Led to one of the most dominant state championship wins in Ohio history.
The Bombers came out and flexed in this state championship game.
And boy, we picked the right one to put it together.
Marymount soccer was pretty dominant too, 23-0 with no ties and a state title.
Division III state champion.
But those weren't the only trophies that came home to the tri-state. Beechwood quarterback Cam Herget was named Mr. Football, the top player in all of Kentucky. And as for Ohio,
goes to Corey Kiner, Roger Bacon High School.
That very same award went to Roger Bacon running back Corey Kiner.
I was just thinking like all this work is going to pay off for something, and it paid off.
Cincinnati's premier tennis tournament, the Western and Southern Open, was moved up to New York for the year. But Cincinnati still made its mark on the tennis world.
What's up, man? McNally.
I'm just glad that they were able to put the tournament on.
Katie McNally and JJ Wolf.
Playing in Cincinnati is my favorite thing to do, but they had these big old Cincinnati banners.
Both made it to round 3 of the U.S. Open.
You know, we have to step back and make a selfish decision.
And one story yet to be finished.
Fickle is staying at Cincinnati.
Luke Fickell chose to stay put as the head coach of the Bearcats.
The selfish decision was what was right for my family.
And 10 months later, raised the conference championship trophy. Well, the Bearcats will try to bring home an even bigger trophy this Friday when they take on Georgia in the Peach Bowl, one of the biggest games in school history, and we will be down there in Atlanta to cover that game for you. Now listen, it would be impossible for us to fit every single important story from the year 2020 into just a few minutes here, but if you want to look back at any story we covered, you can always go to our website, WCPO.com.